Hello, today I'm going to be showing everybody how to tweak your Fallout 4 game for the best performance out of your hardware that you can get. So in the link, the description below, you'll find this. Very easy tool to use. Uh, Superb for what you need it for. What you want to do is you want to download it here. You'll start in this description. It has all these features, any frequently asked questions in case you're worried. And you want to go to Files, download manually. Download this. You'll want WinRAR for this. Most people would have WinRAR, but just in case you don't, download it. I'm going to extract this to my desktop. I already have it on my desktop, but I'll just replace it for the sake of the video. Then when you open it, it'll ask to direct to your game. To direct to your game, you would just open all the folders until you get to your Fallout 4, and then you click on Fallout 4 and press OK. It's not that hard to do. Field of view is essentially how your camera looks and how far away from the screen. It's not a very good explanation, but it's an explanation. I would mostly just recommend setting them all to 90. The next one will be mouse acceleration. You don't want that because it gives you an inconsistent experience with your mouse. You don't want that. I would say tick enable plugins, or highlight it, sorry. Disable intro video. I've already done these. I was just testing around the program since it's been updated since I last used it. If you're having any stuttering issues, I would recommend highlighting borderless. I run it in borderless anyway because I need to tab out quickly, generally, because I'm doing something else as well. I'm going to go into the performance tab here. This is where things get slightly more complicated. What you'll want to do is VSync mode, if I remember correctly, you want to put it to 0. That turns off the frame rate lock. Grids to load, you want to keep it 5 unless you want further render distance, but it's a huge hit on performance, so I wouldn't recommend it. That you can leave. Grass, if you're on lower end hardware, I would recommend, say, setting it to 40 or something. If you're on a lower end graphics card or a graphics card that's just happening to run Fallout 4 even though it's below minimum, I'm going to keep it at 20 here. This you would like to change to how many cores your machine has. The program will even tell you how many cores you have. I have an i5, so 4, but if you have an i7, put it to 8. Shadows, you want to make sure it's at this. Have medium to high end. Anything higher can hurt your frames. I would say if you have lower end hardware, set it to that. As I said, if you're below minimum or you're at minimum and you want more frames, I'm gonna set it back. Draw distance. This is where your city frames, whenever you're in Diamond City or anything, a lot of buildings will hurt your performance. I would say if you're struggling, put it to 2000. I mean, if you're on lower end hardware, don't put it too low. I would say 1500. That's just my opinion. You can play with it as you want. Shadow LED, LOD, I've never really used. Okay, here's a big one. You definitely want to turn this off. Turn both of these off. These would probably be the biggest hit on frames from what I remember for no reason. If you want to keep depth of field, it's up to you. I recommend turning it off. Both of them. Bokeh is a type of depth of field, and depth of field is just a smaller version of it. High priority is automatically done. I'd recommend keeping that on, because that can help stutters. I mean, if you're on higher end hardware, I'd recommend turning off motion blur. Motion blur can be quite annoying no matter what. It's not really a performance hitter, but I would recommend turning it off if you don't like the look of it, of course. Most of these won't hit performance hugely. If you're on lower end hardware, I would say just turn them all off. Keep that on. But I'm not on lower end hardware. I'm on a 980, so fine for me. I wouldn't recommend changing any of this, just because it's slightly more complicated, cause more issues. It's just the colors of your Pip-Boy, VATs, etc. HUD. I would not recommend turning this on. If you turn this on, you can ruin your entire story mode. If you kill an essential in NPC. Most of this is just personal choice. Rest of that on. What I would do is set your ini file to read only, unless you're going to mod. If you're going to add mods to the game through Nexus Mod Manager, you have to keep it disabled. But if this is all you want to do, you just want to run the game slightly better, there'll be another step. This isn't just it, but I would recommend turning that on and then pressing save. Now, the next step, what you want to do is you want to go to the Nexus. I'll have the link below. I just forgot to leave it open for the video. Is you want to go and type in Shadow Boost. As I said, shadows can hit the performance very hard in cities. What you want to do is you want to go to this link as well. I'll put it in the description. In fact, no. Yeah, you can just go to this link. You want to go download. Then what you want to do, want to find the folder that Fallout 4 is in. And it's just in my games folder, so it's easier to access for me. I go into it. I already have a bunch of ENVs and stuff on it. That doesn't really matter. Your file directory will look a bit different. Open this. Then drag all of this in. Going to replace if you've already done this, but again, you won't have, so it won't replace anything. Then you want to go to Files. Download manually. Open this. It'll look the same as before, but it isn't. It's a tweaked file. Drag that in there, and this time it will replace. It'll last replace one item, and you want to replace it. I also forgot to mention that you want to open your shadowboost.ini file that came with the second WinRAR directory, and see where it says target frame rate 38. You want to change that to 1 FPS under your desired frame rate. So if you're looking for 60, you want to set it to 59 for a medium to high end rig. And for a lower end rig, you want to set it to 29, so it's ending for a more stable FPS. And then you want to hit save, and that's it. I just forgot to add that in the video, thanks. And that should be your performance, far better than before. I'm going to make a video now on how to install mods to your Fallout 4 game. There's things like optimized textures, which can help your game run a bit better, use less VRAM, etc. But for now, that is probably the biggest help you can do to your frames. I don't drop below 60 anymore after doing all these tweaks. I also wanted to add a little bit more if you want the absolute maximum performance. And you want to limit your frames, because if you go over 110 FPS in Fallout 4, there's some physics issues. So for anyone who wants to limit their frames to prevent that, if they get more than that, or more than 110 frames, I go to the link. It'll also be in the description. It's called Nvidia Inspector. You want to download it from this site. Open it with WinRAR yet again. Drag this onto your desktop. You want to open Nvidia Inspector. And click this little tool here. Driver profile settings. Type in Fallout. Before. The frame rate limiter. With 60. You can put 59 if you want, but 60 just seems like the best option. Your pre-rendered frames to be 1. Want it. Want to set this or prefer maximum performance. Set this to single display performance mode. That's really it. I mean, you want to go to the absolute max, you can set this to high performance. If you're below the minimum requirements, I would recommend putting it to high performance, but for anyone else, to be honest, I would recommend high quality. And you want to hit apply changes. You want to exit out of it. And that is the absolute maximum you can do to your system. That will limit your frames to 60. Prevents any physics problems with the engine, and provides a much more stable experience. Thank you for watching. If you have any problems, let me know in the comments below. If you liked it, like it. Thank you for watching.